They really dropped the ball on this one. Hey everybody, welcome back to Info on the Go, the show where we make understanding real estate easy. I'm your host, Dietric Williams. So if you're new to the channel and you're thinking about selling, buying, or investing in real estate, please subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified when I upload future editions of Info on the Go to YouTube. Make sure you leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say about anything and everything that I talk about. Also, hit that like button. It just lets YouTube know that you enjoy this content, and hopefully others will as well. So unless you've been living under a rock the past couple of days, there's no doubt that you've heard about the $900 billion stimulus package that Congress recently put together, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. And it is a whopping 5,900 pages long. It breaks down how all of that money is to be allocated. Now, obviously, I'm not going to read the entire 5,900 pages, but there were some things that I extrapolated from that report that I really think you need to pay attention to. So there's some good things and some not so great things. So let's talk about some of the good things for a second. So for one, anyone who earns $75,000 or less will get $600. If it's a married couple and you earn less than $150,000, you'll get $600 a piece. And for your independent children who are not adults, they'll each get $600 as well. Now, for those who earn between $75,000 and $99,000, you're gonna get less than $600, and it's gonna vary depending on where you fall in that tier. For those of you who earn more than $100,000, you're not gonna get anything. I hate to tell you that. Now, for those who are currently on unemployment, you're going to receive an extra $300 per week. Now, remember, the first stimulus package gave $600 a week, so they pretty much cut that in half. Now, is it going to stretch as far as you like it to? Probably not, but it does provide some aid for the people who need it. Now, these benefits will run up for an additional 12 weeks, probably up until mid-March. And because the IRS already has the infrastructure in place, checks should come toward the end of this month or sometime in the first couple of weeks in January. Now, the PUA, or the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, has been extended for an additional 11 weeks, I believe up until mid-March as well. And this was for people who are gig workers or self-employed people who weren't ideally qualified to get state unemployment insurance benefits. So again, this is a positive in being able to help those who actually need this money, because we're all hurting right now, who need this money to be able to just fund their livelihood. Again, is it going to be enough to just support a family for an entire year? Probably not. Now, this is great again because it's been extended. However, for those who are applying, you have 21 days to prove that you are employed or self-employed. And the reason behind that is because there were a lot of fraudulent claims that were being made to capitalize on those funds that were available. So people who normally shouldn't have received that money actually did receive that money and kind of took it away from the people that did. So this time around, they're taking precautions to make sure that that doesn't happen. And this is just one of those precautions. Here's where I think the $900 billion stimulus package failed a lot of people. The eviction moratoriums were only extended out until the end of January, so essentially one additional month. But if you look at the data, the average renter owes about $5,900 in unpaid rent and utilities. And so not extending that out, we're probably going to see a massive amount of evictions occur in February leading up until the spring and summer seasons. Now, why is this bad? Because if most people are working from home, and now you've been evicted, how do you work? So there may be a situation where we see a spike in unemployment numbers come up, and this is just me hypothesizing, right? Just kind of putting two and two together. We may see a spike in unemployment numbers, which we've already seen recently due to the pandemic. So again, there's some situation that could kind of hurt the economy. So I think Congress could have did a better job of extending those out. Now, if you're a landlord, you probably think, Dietric, shut up, that doesn't help me at all. But here's a situation. If you have vacancy and there's nobody to occupy your vacancy, you're still in the same predicament right now. So it really doesn't matter for a lot of you who are out there. So We're just trying to do some things that stimulate the economy to help us get back to business as usual. Now, I don't think we're going to see that for quite some time, but at least we're trying to do something. It's a stopgap right now. Now, the other piece of the stimulus package where I thought Congress really failed us at, and this is huge, is they didn't extend out the forbearance on student loans. So once that forbearance ends, all of those student loan payments are going to kick right back in. Here's why this is a problem. Now, there are 40 million Americans who have student loan debt of $1.6 trillion. Now, this was an issue long before the pandemic hit, and it's going to continue to be an issue long after the pandemic ends. $1.6 trillion. I'll let you kind of think about that number for a second. Yeah, I said trillion with a T. Trillion. Now, if a lot of these people are already struggling to make ends meet and those student payments kick back in, how long do you think these extra benefits that they're receiving from unemployment or even from the stimulus package are going to last? That's going to suck up pretty much almost everything that they have. For a lot of these servicers want their money back. And I mean, rightfully so, right? We borrowed the money, they want their money back. But none of us saw this pandemic coming. Many of us aren't trying to flake and not pay our student loan debts. We just simply can't, because we're trying to figure out how to make ends meet when we have rent or mortgages, when we have car payments. We're either going to have to try to see if they'll extend out the forbearance on a case-by-case basis. Some people may go into deferment. It's just tough to say right now, but I think Congress could have did a lot better job, considering that student loan debt was an issue far before the pandemic hit. And I think they kind of dropped the ball on this one, and they missed a major mark in trying to help the economy revitalize itself by not addressing this issue. So another key piece to the stimulus package is the money that's being allocated for no surprise hospital billing. This has been an issue ongoing for the last several years, that people go into the hospital for certain conditions, things that they didn't see coming, and when they get out, they have hospital bills that are totaling up to the tens of thousands of dollars, and they're not able to pay, right? And so with that being said, that stuff hits your credit. You might get wage garnishments, the whole 9 yards. So Congress implemented something in this stimulus package, and I won't get into the details of it, to help alleviate those surprise medical bills. So you have a lot of people who have been affected and infected by the virus who had to go to the hospital. Well, if you had to stay in the hospital for, a week or so, you get better and then get out, you may get that surprise bill waiting for you the very next week. So in order to curtail that, Congress slipped this one into the package as a way to alleviate those surprise medical bills. So kudos to you, Congress, for thinking about us and the medical bills that are going to come due to this massive pandemic. Now, I will encourage you to, if you just like reading, to peruse through the almost 5,900 pages of the stimulus package that was put together. It's boring reading, and for some of you, you're not going to particularly care about stuff like agriculture and things of that nature, unless you're on a farm, but I don't think some of you are, so those are some pros and some cons that I'm just looking at from the stimulus package, just from two different areas, right? The eviction moratorium being one, and no student loan forbearance extension being another one. I think it's great that they finally got together after months of going back and forth and bickering over what should be included and what should not be included, and actually put something together. Is this going to be an end-all be-all? Obviously not, but there are some things that are within the stimulus package itself that you may not know of. So if you found this information valuable, you're going to want to watch this video right here.